Tomorrow's the big day. Find out what Myrtle Beach is all abuzz about. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Fox 43 studio in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on tomorrow's grand opening of Coastal Grand, Myrtle Beach. And we're visiting with its marketing director, Stacie Dickerson. Good morning, Stacie.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for getting in.
Well, thank you so much for having me here today.
We're like 26 and a half hours now from the opening, 26 hours from the ribbon cutting.
Yeah, it's getting very close, so we're all busy trying to get all those last-minute details taken care of and making sure that everything is perfect.
I'm sure. Well, thanks so much for just taking 20 minutes to come on over here and spend a little time. Of course, we're right across the runways from the mall. We can see it as I step out the back door. So it's very exciting to be so close and to know that what's been happening over the last year when they did the original groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm. They did the groundbreaking about a year ago, and then once that happened, it seems like everything just went so fast. I know that when I moved down in September, so I've been here 6 months, and I can remember my first mall tour, and I had to wear steel-toed boots to get through and slosh through all the mud out there, and so it's quite different today than it was then.
Oh, yeah. Golly, so much going on. This is 1.5 million square feet.
Yeah, it's going to grow to that eventually.
Okay,
we're opening at about 1 million square feet, but there's room for future expansion. So over the coming years, you'll see additional department stores added. You will see strip centers built. You'll see out parcels or freestanding restaurants built. So there's a lot to come even. Lots of great things happening.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Golly, to know that it's opening at one phase, but in a very large phase, but to be able to expand into even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so nice to see, because you don't see centers this size opening that often in the shopping center industry these days. So this is a really big deal.
Yes, very definitely. Real quick about yourself, Stacie. Are you originally from the area?
No, I'm from North Carolina, so I'm not far from home. I grew up in a very small town called Norlina, which is about an hour north of Raleigh, very close to the Virginia border. It was a small town. We don't even have stoplights in Norlina. It has a population of about 1,000.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a small town girl.
Yeah. Do you still have family in Norlina? Do you get back there at all?
I do not have family there anymore. My mom and dad have moved. They now live in Williamston, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
I have a sister in Cary, and I have a grandmother that's in Henderson, which is close to Norlina. So
everyone stayed in the eastern part of North Carolina?
Pretty much, yeah. And I have relatives in the Washington, D.C. area as well, but we're all pretty much fairly close together still.
In the Tar Heel State. Well, that's one of course, a lot of our viewers are in Robinson, Scotland County, and Columbus and Brunswick. So there's we've got a great time over there, and it's very exciting to see. And of course, we've seen a lot. There's been a growth of malls throughout the Carolinas in the recent past, but nothing like the former Mall of South Carolina, now Coastal Grand.
Coastal Grand.
How'd you all decide on that name?
Well, it was important as things were finalized and the designs were finalized for the mall. It was very important, and it became very obvious that this mall really belongs here, and Mall of South Carolina wasn't the best name for it anymore. And so really, with the architecture being what it is and everything being so tied in to this local area, it really seemed more appropriate to name it Coastal Grand than Mall of South Carolina.
A lot of the low country motifs that are laid in. And
yeah, the whole architecture and design, from the materials that they've used to the design, I mean, it just really belongs here. Artwork, and not even to mention the great retailers, and there's a good mix of local and national retailers, so it just seemed to fit.
When you were growing up in Norlina, Stacie, did you travel down to Myrtle Beach at all growing up, or did you go to North Carolina beaches? You came down.
Well, we did a little bit of both. We did go to the Nags Head area and Emerald Isle and those kinds of areas, but we also did the family vacations in Myrtle Beach. So it's been amazing to see how different it is today than it was 15, 20 years ago.
Sure, the growth on the Strand as well. Both Carolinas have had such an amazing growth along the beach areas.
Yes, they really have. It's been phenomenal.
Did you, growing up, did you always know you were going to have some tie to retail?
Not necessarily retail, but I've always wanted a job where I could meet people and do interesting things and do something different and have projects to deal with. And so definitely this job fits that criteria. There are no 2 days alike in my world. So things change so fast. So it's a fun career.
And that'll be the case even after tomorrow's grand opening.
Sure,
I mean, there'll be
absolutely.
constant change, obviously seeing new retailers coming in, and y'all are opening with about how much of the mall filled up?
We're about 86% leased, and
No.
for a shopping center this size,
Wow.
that is a really good number. We're very proud of that.
Sure, sure.
And then when you talk about the specific retailers that we have in, not only are we leased, but we're leased with great retailers, and
Oh,
we're
yeah.
bringing a lot of new retailers to this area, so it's something new for people.
I saw one of your big anchor tenants is entirely new to the area.
Dillard's.
Dillard's.
Yes, this is the first Dillard's store, and I cannot tell you how many people that I've met in this community that tell me how excited they are about the Dillard's. And they always name a few others too, but
Right,
Dillard's
sure.
always comes up. They're very
Wow.
excited about that.
That is exciting. Yeah, I wonder where the next closest Dillard's would be. Maybe down in Charleston?
Charleston, I think, has a Dillard's, and possibly Wilmington.
Really? Yeah. And of course, that's what folks have had to do for the longest time, is to drive
Strive.
long distances.
For those
and to now
stores.
know that something like that is right here.
It's right in their back door now.
That's very exciting. Of course, for a lot of our viewers in the PD in southeastern North Carolina, Stacie, who may not know exactly what we're talking about now that we're talking about Coastal Grand, Myrtle Beach, for them coming down 501, they're essentially going to see it at the intersection of
Right.
501 and 17 bypass.
But they'll need to get into the mall. They
Right.
will need to take the Highway 17 bypass exit heading south. And then they'll have several options. Probably the easiest thing to do is continue on down past the mall and take the Harrelson Boulevard exit.
Okay.
And then they would make a left into the mall. And that would be on the Dillard's end of the mall or the south end. But they can also get in from Pine Island Road, which is on the Belk end, and they can enter from the rear of the property off of Seaboard Street. So there's
Sure.
a lot of options, and that way the traffic can flow smoothly.
Absolutely.
Into the
So
property.
if you were coming down 501, missed that 17 bypass south, they'd go to that first stoplight and take a right.
Take
the
a right.
stoplight there at the Circuit City and the
Right, and they could turn right there and go through that and kind of take a right by the Home
Just-
Depot and come right on into the property that way.
Exactly. So there are a lot of different entrances. Now, what is the front entrance to the mall?
Yeah, there really isn't
there
a front.
one? Yeah.
There's kind of two fronts to this mall
Right.
because obviously the side that faces the bypass
Right. A lot of
would
traffic.
typically be what somebody would call the front, which is where we have the fishnetting canopies and the lights and the entertainment pavilion, and we have a fire pit out there and the pop jet fountains, and that's a very attractive entrance. But on the ocean side of the property, we also have the portico share entrance where people can drive up, drop people off, and it's a covered entrance. And they can enter the mall there, which is the food court area. So, and really, the portico share has been probably one of our most famous renderings in a lot of the printed materials and on TV. That's what people see is that shot of that, the artist rendering of the portico share. And so that really kind of is a front entrance too. And so either one of those.
That's a great, that would be the entrance if folks were coming down Bob Grissom Parkway.
Right.
They would enter in and be looking straight at the portico share.
Correct.
You spell portico share. That's a
It's
big
two
word.
words,
Yeah, that's 2 words.
capitalized,
Right.
P-O-R-T-E, and the E has an accentric U, and then the kosher is C-O-C-H-E-R-E, and that has the
Not to
accent
put you
as
on
well.
the spot, I just thought, golly, that's a big word. And for folks who may not have heard that word before, it essentially just means a kind of
It's
fancy.
a covered
yeah.
entrance that you can drive through and drop people off.
Right, which is great. And there's room for a lot of folks to drive. I mean, for quite a few cars to fit in there as they're dropping people off.
Right, it's two-way, so you can go through either side.
And coming to the food court, let's talk real quick about just going to, and of course, much of the focus is on tomorrow's grand opening.
Right.
There's a big event tonight where the tickets stopped being, tickets were ended to be sold the end of last week for the Myrtle Beach
gala.
Women's Club.
Yes, it's a Hollywood premiere style gala, so it takes on the air of the Hollywood red carpet, and so the guests will come in through that portico share entrance, and they will be entering into the food court area, and there'll be entertainment, there's food, so it's going to be a very fun evening.
It'll be a big night tonight from 6:30
Yes.
to 9:30, and they're doing the Myrtle Beach Women's Club is splitting those proceeds between the March of Dimes, and a heck of a lot of local charities.
And all of their miscellaneous charities
Right.
that they support. They do great work here.
Well, Gail Enslin was with us golly, 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were at the Myrtle Beach Marriott Resort and talking about the excitement within their 40-plus member group of spreading out throughout the community. Every year they have something, but this is such a big year for them.
Yeah.
And it was so great of you all to turn to them, to offer them the opportunity to be associated.
That was a win-win situation. Right. We were looking for a local organization that could handle a project of this magnitude because there were so many details. And there's a lot of work to put this thing on, so they deserve kudos for the job that they've done. And also for them, with them being able to use this as a great fundraiser for them this year. So I think that was a win-win.
For everyone, very definitely, very definitely. What are you pretty nervous right now, Stacie?
More excited than nervous. You know, if it's not done by now, it's not going to get done.
Good point.
We're just very excited because we worked for so long for this day, and it's upon us, and so I think now's the time to sit back and enjoy it.
Now, I think I saw that Jim Kelly, who's on as the general manager, has done 4 major openings in major malls, and I think 10 or 11 of different strip mall or otherwise openings. He's been involved in a heck of a lot of openings, but 4 big ones. Yeah,
he's very much the pro at this, but he still gets excited and stressed and everything, just like the rest of us do. I don't think that ever changes because there's not really. It's always different, and so we've talked about this, and he says, you know, you can't ever possibly make a list of everything that's going to come up for a grand opening like this. You just roll with the punches and go with it as it comes.
What have been some of the things in the last month, if you think back a month, some of the things that are real critical that had to be done, obviously before tomorrow's grand opening and before tonight's gala premiere? What are some of the things that just are critical stage things that really had to be done so that you all could welcome folks tomorrow morning?
Well, obviously the construction had to be complete. So there was a lot of tenant coordination to be done because every store has their own contractor that's building out their store. Plus all the entertainment had to be nailed down. The website has to be updated. You know, the amount of people that call with questions that you have to keep up with, and just 5 million. My to-do list was 17 pages long when we started this thing 6 months ago, and with it opening tomorrow, I still have a to-do list. It's about 2 pages long. So, but it's funny because CBL actually sends down a team of marketing directors from their other centers, and each phase, the manager has a team of other managers that come. Specialty leasing has a team of other specialty leasing people. Marketing, we all have a team of professionals that come in, and they just descended last week and started helping and getting things done, and that's when the pace really started to pick up. But yeah, it's getting there.
And CBL is I believe the largest operator of malls in the Southeast, one of the top 5 in the country.
Yes, they sure are. It's a huge company.
They're based in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yes, they're based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and they merged a year or 2 ago with Jacobs Group, and so a lot of the properties that they have are what was formerly Jacobs Group properties, but they are a wonderful company. They've been doing this for a long time, and they've never missed a grand opening. That's what I said when I first started. I said, now, are you really going to be open on March 17th? And they said, yes, we've never missed a grand opening. And I said, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's right. That took a little burden off of you. And, of course, tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day, so even a bigger surprise.
Yeah, and there'll be some St. Patrick's Day tie-ins. It's not the overall theme of all of our events, but there will be some tie-ins and some fun things for that.
Talk about tomorrow morning a little bit. For viewers, I mean, a lot of folks here in Horry County, but a lot of folks who may want to drive in from the PD or southeastern North Carolina, give them a feel of what they'll get into if they get out here tomorrow morning.
Well, we have a ribbon cutting ceremony tomorrow morning at 9:30, and that will be at that portico share entrance off the Robert Grissom side. And they'll have some dignitaries, and we'll talk about the project a little bit, and then they'll do a countdown. And so they'll do the 10, 9, 8, and then you'll see the confetti, and they will open the doors promptly at 10 for shoppers to come in and take their first look around. And so when they enter that food court area, what they will be greeted by it's just a really neat atmosphere. There's custom light fixtures that have bits of simulated sea glass in them. There's artwork on the bulkheads there in the food court, and they call it the architects refer to this area as the veranda district. And so there's custom artwork, murals, and they take on a 1920s flavor, and they look like signs tourist postcards that have weathered and been layered over time, and some of them even reference old businesses here in the Myrtle Beach area. So that's a pretty interesting fact for the locals that might pick up on that.
Yeah.
And then from there, they would go on into the center court area, where there is a beautiful, very colorful terrazzo floor that was put down. And some people came out of California. They're the best in the country at terrazzo, and they laid that floor, and that depicts the four wildlife that are very popular here, such as dolphins and pelicans and sea turtles and alligators.
Oh, great.
And then each wing has its own style. So to the right from that entrance, that's the Belk and Sears wing, and that's what they refer to as the at-home. And so you see finishes that one might see in a beach cottage at this area. So there's shutter styles, because the architects really like the way that light filters through shutters and makes shadows. The furnishings, the soft seating areas will all be things that you would find in a beach cottage. The floor is beautiful. It's a tongue and groove hardwood floor, and it is shined to perfection. And there's carpeted areas too in that side, but very much a very different look and feel than the other wing. The Dillard's wing is what they call the at-play wing. And so once again, the flooring changes to more of a tile and carpet, and the soft seating is more of something that you might find at a city park. And so the colors and the light fixtures and the shutter designs and the colors and everything change from one end to the other. Very interesting.
Golly,
It's beautiful. It is the most beautiful mall I think I have ever seen.
And you've visited a lot of malls, Stacie.
Yes, I have. I've
worked
visited
at
every
and
mall on
visited a
the
lot
East
of malls.
Coast, I think.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, I've seen a lot of malls, and there have been some other projects that have opened up in the last couple of years that were very nice, but I think we will trump that with this mall.
Now, before moving to Myrtle Beach in September, I think I saw you were the marketing director of the Jacksonville Mall.
Jacksonville Mall, Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Okay, right.
And that's home of Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune.
Of course,
Wonderful
yeah.
community, good people.
And you've been in some other malls even prior to that.
Prior to that, the mall before that was the mall in Wilson, North Carolina, which was Parkwood Mall and Plaza.
Okay.
So I got my start in this industry there.
Yeah.
And that was a great learning experience. And then I actually got out of the shopping center industry for a while. I opened my own business. I ran a gym for a couple of years.
Oh, great.
And then I moved to the Raleigh area, and I did Christmas decor packages for malls. So I've designed some Christmas decor packages and worked with other malls on the East Coast for that. And then I was in South Boston for a while. I helped manage and operate a sports entertainment complex up there. I've done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you have, Stacie.
So,
what was that like owning your own business?
it was wonderful and hard.
Yeah, harrowing.
Talk about hard work,
Right.
you know, especially a gym business. You got to open at 6, you don't close till 9, you're there, the buck always falls to you.
Wow.
And it was a very rewarding experience. I'd always wanted to own my own business, and so I'm glad I did it, and I would not trade that experience for anything in the world. But it was definitely one of the hardest things I've ever done, to open my own business.
I'm sure.
But fun.
Yeah, open at
Fun
6,
business.
close at 9. You get all the blame, but all the credit.
That's
for
exactly
when
right.
Good things happen.
That's exactly right.
Which must be a good feeling now. Obviously, you're working around the clock as well. It's like you own them all.
Past few weeks, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
With all of y'all, just the commitment level's been so intense.
It
Of course, as
has
you
been.
say, so many of the different contractors for the different stores in there. There must be something kind of bringing everyone together. I guess everyone's under that same goal of being ready for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, people tend to want to be part of something bigger than themselves. So I think this project has given us that.
Those are good words. Everyone tends to want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. That's a good point. That's exactly right. And when you see 1 million square feet of anything open
It's certainly
up,
big.
that's right. For folks who live on the coast, are able to look out at an ocean that's so much larger than anything else around. And I guess you almost see that when you walk into the Porte Cochere and see everything around there. It's really larger than much anything around
It is.
here.
It's a wow factor. When people walk in, they will get the wow.
Now, if they entered from that 17 bypass side, are there still going to be, the focus will still be coming to the central area and then breaking out to at-home or at-play or the food court?
Yeah, the fishnet canopies are what is on that bypass side. So when you walk in, that's right by the Dick's Sporting Goods store.
Right.
And so when you walk in there, that too will lead down towards center court, and then you could branch off in either direction to either go to Dillard's or to the Belk and Sears end.
And then some of the expansion over the future will break off in areas, right around there. There's enough space already set in place?
Yes, there are 2 future anchor store pad sites there that would be connected to the mall should they ever come to bear. That would be part of the mall. But then there are also some freestanding restaurants. We have our restaurant district that's being developed, and that's around where those fishnet canopies are. And plus there are other out parcels closer to the bypass. And then there's also future plans for a strip center on that same location.
Golly, how can more go in there? Yeah.
Lots to come.
You know, when you're standing in the center of the mall, Stacie, do you have I almost hate to let it out, but is there a favorite area for you? Have you really gravitated towards that
center
work
court
or at play?
area.
You just like hanging out in the
I
middle?
like the
That's
center
a good,
court
safe
because
answer. Yeah.
because of the floor, because of all the bright colors. I love bright colors,
Right.
and it's designed like a giant fishing pier, so it really gives you that sensation of being a kid at the beach, and the fishing pier just seems like this great big huge structure, and they're the cantilever columns and everything. So you get that feel when you're there. So I like that.
So if someone's standing in the middle and they want to get into the at play mode, they're going to head south, I guess, or they're
actually going to head north.
Okay.
Is the at home,
Right.
and the at play is the south end.
How exciting!
Very exciting. I'm ready.
That's right.
I'm
And of
ready.
course, now tonight, the folks are going to be spread out throughout the mall at the event that the Myrtle Beach Women's Club is putting on. They'll be spread out throughout.
Right. The gala is to be a premiere for the mall. It's kind of a sneak peek. So if you have a ticket and you're coming tonight, you'll get to see it before everyone else sees it tomorrow.
Right.
And so the stores will not be open, but they will have their lights on, and you can window shop and decide what you want to come back and visit tomorrow and enjoy the fun and the food and the festivities and check out the mall and be ready to come in your tennis shoes tomorrow.
Yes, that's exactly right. Of course, the good point is to sit back and think, it's a mall opening. It's a big day for so many of the folks associated with it. Other folks who just want to be there to shop.
Right.
They want to get in there and get started.
I've gotten a tremendous response from the community. I've done a lot of speaking engagements with some of the local organizations, and I tell you, I've heard all positive responses. People wanted this mall, and I think people are very excited to get this mall and appreciative, and especially with it being such a beautiful property. I think this area is ready for this, and it being a regional mall, it really lends something new and exciting for people from all sorts of areas.
I think I was reading an article last week, actually the Myrtle Beach Area Business Journal, about when the mall's fully completed and leased out, or even now, you'll be employing around 2,000 folks.
And that's actually a very conservative number.
Oh, Lord.
Each store hires their own staff, and depending on what their staffing levels are at different times of the year, that number could very easily exceed that or even double that.
It's amazing.
Yeah. A lot of people to run them all.
Yeah, that's
You think
right.
about all the stores, all the maintenance, all the security, the mall office personnel, and just an anchor store alone has to hire a lot of people to run that. I mean, you think about being open from 10 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, 6 days a week, and then Sunday noon to 6. That's a lot of manpower. So.
There are the folks we see when we will go into other malls on the Strand. You'll see walkers in the morning walking throughout. Is that indicative? I mean, all malls
That's a
just
mall
open
thing.
up that idea to
That's a mall
folks
thing.
to come in. You expect there'll be a lot of folks for the opening tomorrow, both to walk as well as to really experience the flair. But folks will be walking on a regular basis. 1 million square feet opens a lot of room to walk.
Sure does, and we'll be opening the doors during the week at, I believe it's 8:30 a.m. for walkers to come in and
Great.
enjoy that and have a great, safe, warm environment to walk in.
Oh, yeah. That is a great idea.
That's a mall thing.
Yeah.
All malls do that.
For you, having grown up in Norlina and experienced that small town without a stoplight aspect, and now to see all the stoplights along the Strand and all around the mall, the excitement, I'm sure, for you to see an opening like this, can you put it into words? Or
I don't know how to put that in words. I mean, when you're 5 years old and growing up in a small town, you don't really know what life's going to bring. No one has a crystal ball to see where things are going to be. But if you had told me 12 months ago that I would be here today, I would have still said you're crazy. You just never know. And so when we started talking about this project, and I started talking with some people at CBL about coming here as the marketing director, and that's exciting enough. The Myrtle Beach area, a new property, a grand opening. And then when I came and saw the plans, I said, oh, I really want to be involved in this.
Yeah.
So it's been very exciting for me personally and professionally.
Mm-hmm. Stacie, speaking of the different groups on the Strand over the last 6 or 7 months, what's the message that you've really worked hard to get out there, the most important message for you as it relates to tomorrow, as it relates to the next 10 years of Coastal Grand Myrtle Beach? What's the message you've been working hard to get out?
We have basically wanted to say to people, we are here, we are coming, we're excited to be part of the community, and we're here to serve you and bring something great for this area, and we're just happy to be doing it.
And service is a big aspect of that. Not only opening the mall at 8:30 for the walkers,
Right.
but as well that aspect of tonight's event, the Myrtle Beach Women's Club, the grand opening gala. Of course, many of the proceeds, half of them will go to the March of Dimes, and as you said earlier, a lot of them will go to area charities.
Yes, it's a great thing for the community, and we'll be looking for opportunities to help with the community and do some things throughout. We'll host an annual charity bazaar probably in the fall each year to give local charities, nonprofit organizations, a chance to come out and benefit from the traffic that the mall generates, so they can deliver awareness and fundraising and things like that for their various organizations. And not to mention just the economic impact alone of a center like this helps in a lot of ways too.
Right. Stacie, if a viewer in the PD or let's say in Laurinburg wanted to get a little information on the mall, both driving directions coming down or just some of the other aspects of the mall, what's the best phone number for them to give a ring?
Okay, well, they can check our website. A lot of information is on the website, which is coastalgrand.com, but if they wanted to call, they had specific questions, they can call our customer service center.
Right.
And that number is 843-839-9100.
Right, great. Lastly, Stacie, if you weren't the marketing director for Coastal Grand Myrtle Beach, what do you think you'd be doing?
I would be writing a marketing book and doing speaking, motivational speaking, and marketing consulting. That's my dream.
She's got a dream. The dream starts here at Coastal Grand Myrtle Beach. Tomorrow's the big day. If you got tickets, get out there tonight, but you can get out there at 9:30 tomorrow morning for the ribbon cutting, and then 10 o'clock going into the portico share. Stacie, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Stacie Dickerson, the marketing director for Coastal Grand Myrtle Beach, and all the CBL staff and Burrs and Chapin folks that worked so hard to make this a reality. Get out there tomorrow morning, ribbon cutting at 9:30, or call 843-839-9100 or visit coastalgrand.com.